How are there Pokédex entries from the Scarlet Paradox Pokémon in the Pokédex from Pokémon Violet and vice versa? This is a question that has been plaguing me for a while, and I do believe that solving it might be the key to understanding these games a lot better. And on the search for that answer, I ended up in a strange magazine. Hey, I'm Not So a Strainer, and what about the Occulture? Let's get into it. If you roam around the Academy's library, you will find out about a strange magazine, a paranormal magazine, named the Occulture. This magazine talks about the respective Paradox Pokémon from your game in a bit of an unbelievable way. For example, in Pokémon Scarlet, when talking about Screamtail, the title reads Screamtail, a billion-year-old Jigglypuff, with the article talking about nothing that actually proves that point, only about rumors. The same happens in Pokémon Violet when talking about, for example, Iron Thorns. The title reads Iron Thorns, a Tyranitar from the distant future, with the article also speculating it could be from a billion years from now. There are mentions of aliens, of dinosaurs, and everything in between in those articles, which kinda took away all the credibility from the Occulture. But we kinda know those things actually exist, the Pokémon actually exist. They're just not exactly as described, but they do exist. I have three different explanations for this. First, whoever is writing this could simply be collecting reports from people and believing everything they hear. We don't have all the articles, so there might be some that prove to be actually fake, though it is doubtful. Second, whoever is writing this could be writing it as fuel to the fire that what is written in the Scarlet or Violet books is real, with them being obsessed with the books, kind of like Sada and Turo were. Or third, they actually know it is true. They have been to both worlds, or most likely they have been in contact with someone that has been to both worlds. If you check the Pokédex entries for the Scarlet or Violet Paradox Pokémon in their opposing games, you'll find that they are incredibly similar to the ones described in the Occulture. In fact, all of them except Koraidon and Miraidon's Pokédex entry reference a dubious or paranormal magazine. So, needless to say, there is a connection between the world of Pokémon Scarlet and the world of Pokémon Violet. Why, you ask? Because if you look at the numbers and corresponding months in the Occulture, you'll find that they basically share the same numbers and months. They have to be different magazines. And someone has access to both. My first thought was either Jack or Clavel, since both of them were responsible for the data in the Pokédex, and there are rumors that Clavel worked in Area Zero with Sada or Turo. At least he would have known what was going on there, what they were trying to accomplish. Though it does feel like Clavel was genuinely surprised they actually made it, which makes me feel like he wouldn't be the one. Going back to Jack, he is, weirdly enough, a bit of a mystery apart from us knowing that he worked with Clavel, since there is absolutely nothing about him beside that. Maybe he also worked in Area Zero, and that's how he became more of a believer in those outrageous claims, and thus, he decided to add that data to the Pokédex. That's as far as I'm willing to go with him, though I am very suspicious of this character. Gira is also another one of those who probably knew about what was going on in the crater, since the Pokémon League helped fund Sada and Turo's research. Still, she does not strike me like the kind that would write about weird things in a paranormal magazine. So with those, in a way, out of the way, that leaves me with three other options. 4 if you want to be exact, but it's really 3. My first one is Arven himself. He seems to be obsessed with the book and clearly missed his mother/father despite feeling bitter towards them. It wouldn't be out of this world for him to use the articles in the Occulture as ways to maybe catch their attention in hopes of reuniting with them. It would have been weird to not have it mentioned in the game though, since we kinda had a bit of a closure to that story, even if I think it is far from over. Then we have the opposing professor to the one in our games. From my last video, you know what I think happened to the professors, but I'm all about exploring every single possibility, and this is one of the possibilities. So, I don't think we're stretching reality by assuming that Arven's other parent, the person that left after the boy was born, something mentioned in one of the professor's notes in Area Zero, is most likely the opposing professor. They, more than anyone, would have known what was going on in that place since they worked on it as well before leaving. Why would they start a paranormal magazine when it was obvious it would disprove the professor's work, you ask? Well, exactly because of that. To disprove the professor's work and make sure they stop before something bad really happened. But that's not my final one. My final one is actually Heath. Heath is the writer of the Scarlet and Violet books. He was a great natural historian that led the expedition 200 years ago. Awesome guy that is shrouded in mystery, but that eventually saw all of his works fall into the fiction department. That is, of course, not good. The question you may be asking right now is, why on earth would Heath be alive? My answer to you is, crystals and dreams come true. Immortals in Pokemon are nothing new, since we had AZ before and he was 3000 years old, due to firing a very dangerous crystal weapon. In this game, we are surrounded by crystals all the time, and we know that Heath experienced something strange when he was inside the crater. He went somewhere unfamiliar and spoke with someone he doesn't know. While it is impossible for us to know exactly what transpired in that conversation or what is in that specific page, there's a chance that Heath's obsession ended up with him somehow, maybe by the third legendary's powers, become able to live forever. And maybe in his obsession to find out what happened on that day, Heath was able to cross worlds again, maybe meet whoever he was talking to before he was found unconscious. Maybe it was himself, but not himself. Maybe that's how information crossed from Scarlet to Violet, from him to him. Maybe now he writes for the Occulture because he too wants to stop people from playing with the third legendary's powers. Or maybe he simply can't remember why he knows all of that. And that's all I have for you today, just a look at the Occulture, because I do believe it is more important than people give it credit for. But what about you? Do you have any theories regarding that book, that weird magazine? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. You can follow me on social media and Twitch, I send there Wednesday to Sunday, not Saturday, or join our Discord. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.